Hi, everybody. My name is Jamie McKetchie, and I'm the library director here at McPherson College. And I'm really excited to be here with your ACE class today so that I can talk about how the library can be a resource for you during your time here as a student. So let's go ahead and get started. As a librarian, I spend a lot of my time thinking about information. And I believe that the challenge facing us today is not if the information we need is out there, but how we can get to it. So my hope is that after sharing with you a little bit about the library and also the research process in general, that you'll have the tools that you need to search smarter. So we're going to talk first about the library, and that's going to be the first short video, and then I'm going to talk about the research process, and that'll be a second short video. So I like to start with talking about what is the mission of Miller Library. The mission of Miller Library is to provide access to information and to instruct and assist stakeholders, which include you, in locating, using, and evaluating this information. So in summary, Lindsay, the other librarian, and myself are here to provide a shared set of common resources that support the college's curriculum and to help you and other members of the campus community to navigate those resources. And when I think about the library and how we can fulfill our mission, I like to think about it in three different ways. Specifically, the library as a space, the library as a set of resources, and then the services that the library can provide. So first, let's talk about spaces. I believe that you all did your check-in, like when you first came to campus at the library. So I think you've all been in our space before. As a space, the library's main goal is to be like the academic hub, a welcoming place where you can learn and grow. And since there are a lot of different ways to study, we try to provide a variety of options to our students. So you'll notice there are quiet spaces, group study spaces, we have whiteboards, study cubicles, larger tables, and then of course a lot of comfortable chairs as well. Of course, COVID has necessitated some changes in the physical space of the library, so I just wanted to touch on that briefly. I'm really looking forward to getting back to our old normal, but we do have some kind of new normal that we're doing right now. So following our health and safety protocol, just a reminder that all students are expected to be masked and to maintain social distance while in any building on campus, and that includes the library. To facilitate this, we've removed many of our chairs, and we expect that you don't move the furniture. That'll just help everybody to maintain their distance. We also have sanitizing wipes throughout the library, so that can help you to ensure that the spaces that you're working on, whether that's the computers or a tabletop, are virus-free. And lastly, we usually have all three levels of the library available as study space. So usually the basement is for louder group work, the main level is for kind of like a moderate noise level, and then the second floor is the quiet floor. Additionally, in our usual, old normal, Lindsay and I would sit behind that big service desk on the main level. But in COVID times, that space does not allow for Lindsay and I to social distance, and also just created a lot of exposure for her and I. So for the time being, this is the new normal. Our desks, as well as the general library service desk, which is staffed by student workers, those are all located on the second level. So you can come up to the second level to check out books or to browse our collections, but that second level space at this point is not available for study space. And if you have questions about that, please don't hesitate to reach out. Again, we're all kind of like adjusting to this new normal. So all of that in summary, ultimately, my hope is that you, just like the students that are pictured in this image here, that you'll explore the floors of Miller Library, that you'll find a space that is comfortable for you as an individual or when you're working on group work, and that just this becomes your academic kind of meeting ground during your time here at McPherson. Let's next talk about resources. Miller Library has access to hundreds of thousands of resources. We have books and ebooks, of course. We also have academic journals and curriculum materials for education majors. We have newspapers and streaming movies and just so much more. I'm going to show you in a little bit how to access our website, and you can see a little bit more of what we have on there. We also have some special collections. So we have an archive of materials that are related to the history of McPherson College, which is pretty neat, and also a collection of print automotive restoration materials for those of you who are in our AR program. And then, of course, we have computer stations all over the first floor of the library. Those include free printing. And we also have Chromebooks that can be checked out. Those, again, are available on the second floor of the library and can be checked out for 2 hours for use in the library. And finally, I also want to highlight a few of the specific services that are available to you at the library. First of all, I come to classes such as this to share with students about how to use the library. In our old normal, I would come in person, but given the pandemic, I've been doing virtual visits this year. So I'm sorry not to get to see you all face to face, but I'll look forward to getting to know you during your time here. Second, I want to mention that I also offer what I call research consultations, which basically is just a fancy way of saying that Lindsay and I are always happy to help you one-on-one or in a small group to help navigate the library's resources so that you can find the information that you need. And I'll talk in just a moment about how you can contact us to set one of those up. Additionally, so we have a huge collection of tens of thousands of books that you can check out for up to 3 weeks. But we also have what are called reserves, and these are textbooks that professors make available to classes, and they leave those textbooks with us, the librarians, and we have them available for you right behind that main service desk. In order to make sure that everyone in a class can have access to maybe just 1 or 2 copies of a book, we make those textbooks available for 2 hours of in-library use. So that's how that works. We do have shorter hours this year for the service desk. I'll talk about those hours also here in a little bit. But since we have shorter hours, we realize that perhaps the library won't be open and available to check out reserves when you need them. And so this year, we are also providing scanned copies of chapters of reserves. So if you have a textbook that's on reserve and you need access to a chapter of it and you want it available digitally whenever you want, you can email library@mcpherson.edu and just say the name of the textbook and the chapter that you need, and we'll send you a PDF copy. So that'll be yours to use for your class. Next, I want to talk about interlibrary loan. So that's a service that if our library does not have a book or a journal article that you need for your research, we can borrow it from another library for you. So it's a pretty cool service that we offer. And then finally, again, I just want to highlight our hours. We do offer way more hours than like your typical 9 to 5 office of other offices on campus. Because of COVID, our hours are more limited, and we have made a distinction between, again, the main and basement levels, which provide you with space to study in those computer stations, the free printing, etc. So you can see here that those have longer hours. We're open 7:30 to 10 during the week, and then some hours on Sunday as well. And then the second level has more restricted hours. That's where you can view the collections or check out books and so on and so forth. So just keep in mind that those hours are a little shorter. We're up there 11:30 to 7:30 Monday through Thursday. And then just like the rest of the building, we close just at 5 on Fridays. So again, if you have any questions about that, it can be confusing. Always feel free to reach out. And speaking of reaching out, now that you know about the mission of the library, you know about our spaces, our resources and services, I want to make sure that Lindsay and I as the librarians are just really accessible to you. Again, we usually sit behind that main service desk on the first floor, so we're just really available. You can see us as soon as you come in. But since we're up on the second level, we want to make sure that we're still just as available to you as ever. So again, we are located on the second level. And you are welcome to come up and ask us a question during our open hours that I've listed here. We just, again, ask, as is the case of all buildings on campus, that you just maintain social distancing while you're up there. But we're happy to talk in person if you have any questions. We also have an email address. Again, that's library@mcpherson.edu. This is where you can request reserves, or if you have any other sorts of questions, that's an easy email address to remember, and it'll go to Lindsay and I. We also have a phone number that you can not only just call, but you can also text. So feel free to add this to your contacts in your phone. It's 620-374-9622. If we are not, working, we might respond to your text the following day, but we will respond to you and welcome you to call or text us at that number. And finally, we have a chat box as well, which you can find on our library website, or there's also a QR code that's included on the kind of Ask a Librarian signs that are in the library. So yeah, if you need help, we really encourage you to reach out to us. And finally, I do want to highlight in this first video our library website. So this is the address, or you can always just Google McPherson College Miller Library, and that'll take you there as well. So let's do that really quickly. I just want to show you. So again, mcpherson.edu/academic/library, and this will have a description of the sorts of services and spaces and resources the library offers. It has our COVID operating plan, our different hours you can find here. Again, our contact information. If you want to request an interlibrary loan that I talked about, where we borrow books or articles from other colleges, other libraries, you can do that with the interlibrary loan request. And specifically, I want to make sure you know how to get to our library catalog and online resources page. So if you click right here, it'll open up basically this page that will provide you with access to all of our different resources. Here is the search bar where you can search the items that we own. So those will be the books that are on our shelves, or our ebooks, our DVDs, all of that. This section gives kind of a little bit of a description about all of that. Right here, the Need Help, Ask a Librarian. You can see here's where our chat box usually is. It's before our opening hours, and I'm of course talking to you all and not available to take a chat, so I've turned it off. But that's where you'll be able to find a chat box, and you can ask us any questions there. Our contact information is here. And then finally, over here on this side of the screen, under the links section, is where all of our online resources are. So you've got academic journal articles, ebooks, newspapers, streaming films, and I'll be back in this class to talk more about these resources, and I'll be back in other classes of yours to talk about them as well. So again, reach out if you have any questions, and we'll look forward to getting to know you. So that is the first video, and I'm going to go ahead and make another one about the research process in general. But thank you for your attention, and I'll look forward to seeing you soon.